Hi, it's Matt from Go Green Auto. So here we have a Peugeot Partner electric van. It's got the 22 kilowatt hour battery pack. The batteries are owned. This is a 2015 van, low mileage, really nice condition. If you don't know these Peugeot Partners, they're basically got everything on them so that you only get one spec. They've all got DC rapid charging, so you can charge in 20 to 30 minutes on a rapid charger. And they've all got air conditioning, and these are the only vans that have got 3 seats up front. So the purpose of these videos primarily is to describe the condition in detail, and then hopefully that allows people to buy it without coming to view it first, and then I just deliver the vehicle to you. And because of that, I'm very honest, I'm quite picky. I pick out things that really you wouldn't probably notice. It does make the videos, well, make the vehicles come across a little bit negative because I'm pointing out absolute minute little things, but it means you know exactly what you're buying, and I get happy customers. So let's walk around. There's not much to show you on this, it's in really good condition. But I'll do a walk round anyway. Looking at the front, there's no stone chips, scratches, or there's no chips in the windscreen either. The little black bits you can see are flies because they're sticking to this because it's such a hot, muggy day today. The bumpers are all scratch free. The wheel trims are all good, as are the tyres. The tyre tread depths are on the website. What can I show you around here? There's no scratches on the mirror. So the only things I need to show you around here is there's a tiny little scratch there in the paint, and then the paint had chipped in 2 little bits. It's like 1 mil there and 3 millimeters there. So I've dabbed a little bit of white paint in there just to stop that rusting. Looking down the side here, there's nothing to note. There's another little bit of paint was missing here, again a chip. This one is longer, it's the width of a thumb, but again I put a bit of white paint in there. This was Renault paint. It's not quite the same colour as the Peugeot paint, but if I can get a Peugeot touch-up stick in time, I'll do another top coat on the Peugeot white. Wheel trim, tyre, all great. Looking around the side, there's a bit of scuffing there on the rear bumper. There is also a little scratch there, about 5 millimeters long. I'll dab a little bit of paint in that. Looking around at the back, the only thing, I'm looking at the bodywork, but it all looks good. The only thing I need to point out here is there is an indentation here in the bumper and a little scratch here. There is a little scratch there on the paintwork, 2 inches long. The rest of it is all good. Let's just look in the inside while we're around the back. Door cards, sorry, the inside of the doors there, and these hardboard cards are all dent free. The inside is really nice condition, as you can see. It still looks like new, really. You've got this rubber mat on the floor. This is how they come out the factory, but underneath is the steel floor, which is completely scratch free. It still looks like new, so probably ideally you would ply line it. So this mat is a little bit grubby, but it's just a rubber protective mat at the end of the day. Here are your charge cables. So this one does come with a portable charger, so that portable charger allows you to charge the van on a 3-pin plug, and there's your charging cable that you would use in a home or workplace charger. This one doesn't have the solid bulkhead. Well, actually these don't come generally with a solid bulkhead, they come with a mesh bulkhead, half solid at the bottom and mesh at the top, but this one's open with just your ladder rack sort of protection behind the driver's seat. And with these vans, that passenger seat folds flat. It allows you to put long loads through, which I'll show you in a minute. In the back here we've got a light up there, and we've also got a 12-volt socket down here. And then just continuing round, the only thing I need to show you round here is there is a dent here in the side panel. It's about 6 inches long, maybe 8 inches long. It's not too bad. but it is noticeable. There we are. I would just add, all these things I'm going to point out I've taken detailed pictures of, so if you have a look on the website in the photo gallery, you can zoom right up and have a good look at the photos of anything I'm going to point out. And the rest of it is all good. Mirrors, no scratching in the mirrors. You know, you would look at it and think that still looks like a new van, to be honest. The only thing of any significance is the dent on this side, but again, it's pretty minor. Just finishing up round here, there's a few minor little scratches here on the front bumper down low, but pretty insignificant. And then let's just do the inside quickly. Door cards are all scratch free, really nice condition inside. The seats are all clean, no wear and tear on them whatsoever, as is all the dash. It still all looks pretty new. And then we've got new carpet mats on the floor as well. So I'll just talk about the charging on these. These have an AC charging port here, so it's type 1. It's a 3.6 kilowatt charger, so typically overnight charging. This is what you would use when you're charging at home or charging at your workplace. A full charge on this port, being a 22 kilowatt hour, you're going to be something like 7 to 8 hours, something like that. And then on the other side, if I just walk around where your diesel filler cap would be, under here, this is where you've got your rapid charging port. So this is a 50 kilowatt DC CHAdeMO connector. This is what you would use on the roadside. All the motorway networks have got rapid chargers, as do a lot of other places now, and this is where you'll get that fast 0 to 80% charge in 20 to 30 minutes. And then your charging cables here, this is your type 1 to type 2 charging cable, which you would use on the AC port on the front wing that you would connect to the van here, and this end, the type 2, goes into any charging post, whether that's your home wall charging unit or a public charging post. And then this here is a portable charger, often called a granny cable. Again, there's your type 1 connector for the AC port on the front wing, and here's your 3-pin plug. So this means you can charge the van from a normal main socket. It does take longer because this can only draw 10 amp, whereas when you're charging on an AC wall charger, you're going to draw 16 amp, but it will always be charged by the morning. And these are particularly handy if you're out on site during the day or at your workplace. You can just charge on a normal socket and get a top up and effectively double your range. So here are your 3 seats up front. The middle seat is a bit narrow, so better for children, but I have had 3 adults sat in here before. They're quite flexible, these seats. So what you have is you can lower the middle section, and then you've got a writing area, or probably more likely a McDonald's lunch table. And then under there is storage. At the moment, that's where you've got your pump and gunk for puncture repair kit. And then this seat lifts up and locks up, so you've got additional storage on the floor. Or you can drop the whole front seat down completely. It's then flush with the rear cargo area, and it allows you to put long loads through, and it hooks under the dash into the footwell. So looking on the inside of the van here, firstly we've got a gear selector here. You drive electric vans like an automatic. They're not really an automatic because electric vehicles don't have a gearbox, but you've got an automatic gear selector here, so you've got part, reverse, neutral drive. This is your heating and air conditioning system. These Partners all come with air conditioning, unlike the Kangoos, and it's quite a nice little system actually. These all do draw energy from the traction battery, so they can reduce your range a little bit in the winter. Heating uses more energy than air conditioning, but if I was to put the air conditioning on at about 50% there, we've still got the aircon on, we're cooling cool air, and this needle up here moves to show the energy usage, and the range has just dropped from 91 miles to 88 miles. This is of course an estimate, though it's gone to 87 already. But if I was to change this and apply some heat, then actually the needle and range hasn't moved. Let's just apply it to maximum. We'll see there it's dropped to 83 miles. This again is an estimate, and that needle will creep up a little bit. But yeah, it's quite a nice little system. This one's got a single slot CD and radio. It does not have Bluetooth. Down here we've got electric windows, your central locking 12-volt socket. Cup holders are in the doors on the Partners. They're a little bit awkward to use. It's okay as long as the cups aren't too tall. We've also got overhead storage up the top here. You've also got this storage compartment in front of the dash. Down here we've got cruise control. We've got audible stereo controls here behind the steering wheel. And we've got electric mirrors and electric windows, of course. So yeah, and they're quite nicely kitted out. Everything works as it should do. So the mileage on this vehicle is 17,163 miles. So let's next talk about the range, probably your most important question. So with all my vehicles I do a range test, so I fully charge it as it is now and I drive them right until they get to 0 and until the turtle mode comes on. What it does is when the battery gets very low, it puts in a restrictive power mode just to maximize your range. So I did this one last night, drove it from full to 0, and I drove an average of 4.5 miles per kilowatt hour. Actually, if I use the button on the end of the stalk up on the display there, it will show us 4.5 miles per kilowatt hour, and I did 88 miles. And I've now fully charged it, and the range meter was showing 91 miles when I got into it. So that's pretty good for a Peugeot Partner 22 kilowatt. Obviously range depends on how you drive and also outside temperature. In the winter you're not going to get that. In the winters you're going to be somewhere between 15 and 20% less. But as I said, range, just like a petrol or diesel car, it very much depends on how you drive and how heavy you are with your right foot. But in an electric vehicle, you've basically got to predict the road a bit more, accelerate a little bit gently, because because you've got instant torque, you can actually spin the front wheels on these incredibly easily. So it is easy to drive too fast. You've just got to be a bit more gentle with the accelerator. So nice and smooth acceleration. And reading the road, so when you want to slow down, you just lift off the accelerator and let the regen braking slow you down, and that's when the motor turns into a dynamo and starts putting energy back into the battery pack. And what you don't want to do is slow down using the brakes, unless of course you really have to, because brakes, then you're wasting your energy into friction and heat, whereas you want to transfer it back into the battery using the regen on the motor. The regen braking on these Partner vans, as they are on all the electric vans, is set really strong. So when you lift off the accelerator, the van comes to a stop pretty quickly, and it will come to a complete stop. So genuinely you can drive these for mile upon mile and never touch the brakes. You only touch the brakes just to hold it, to stop it rolling back when you get to a junction or traffic lights or whatever. So absolutely no wear and tear on the brake pads if you drive these properly. And that's how you can maximise your range, because every time you slow down you're putting a bit of energy back into the battery. So yeah, if you drive these gently you're looking up to 90 miles range, and that was driving around here on country roads, a mixture of B roads and A roads. The A roads are limited to 50 mile an hour, but I was doing sort of 40 to 50 all the way, very little slowing down, because I've got to exhaust the battery. It gets a bit tedious. I'm doing this many times a week, and it takes a good 2 hours or more of just driving around with nowhere to go just to exhaust the battery. But I'm doing real world driving, proper road speeds, keeping up all the rest of the traffic. I'm not trying to drive it as economically as I possibly could just to show you a high range. I'm just driving them normally. So if you're in a town doing stop start driving, you may get a little bit more than 4.5 miles per kilowatt hour. I was chatting to someone the other day who was driving a Kangoo van, and they're getting over 5 miles per kilowatt hour driving it in London. But as always, a fuel economy on a vehicle is all dependent on how you drive, just like it is with any other vehicle. So we have 2 original remote keys with this van. And then here we've got the paperwork. This is an ex-lease vehicle from lease plan. It's had no previous keeper, so one keeper from new. And the registration date was the 29th of the 9th 2015. So that means that the electric powertrain is still under warranty. That's your battery pack, obviously, and also everything under the bonnet, the electric motor, the inverters and the charging system. The MOT is until the 28th of the 9th 2019, so obviously I'll get a new MOT on this before it's delivered, so it'll have 12 months MOT. And then here's the service history printout from lease plan, and we can see it's had a brake fluid change and 2 services. The full information is on the website, and here we have got all the original manuals. However, they have got wet, so they have all sort of stuck themselves together a little bit, so they do need pulling apart, but it is going to ruin the surfaces of some of them. But anyway, it's all here. User manual, the electric supplement manual as well, and the service book. However, the service book doesn't have any stamps, but of course we've got the service printout anyway. Servicing on these electric vehicles, you know, basically once they're out of warranty, you don't bother servicing them. Your MOT test does your crucial checks, because electric vehicles don't have any serviceable parts. It's more about checking your tyres are safe, and as they age and you do more miles, then you're obviously checking suspension, shock absorbers and that sort of thing. But the only serviceable part on an electric vehicle is pollen filter, and then every 4 years or so you change your brake fluid, and that's it. So as I said, once they're out of warranty, servicing is absolutely minimal on these, incredibly low running costs. So this van is ready and available to go, so if you're interested, then give me a call or email. And as I said, I will get a new MOT done on it, and also let me know your postcode and I can work out a delivery cost. I can deliver this anywhere in the country, and it will come to you on a flatbed, and it will be fully charged and ready to use. This one's also got the portable charger in the back there, which means you can charge it on a normal main socket. And to get a home or workplace charger installed, it costs from £300. I can also organise that. They take about 2 weeks to get installed, but obviously in the meantime this one's got that portable charger, so you can charge it on a normal 3-pin plug anyway.